Hey everybody, Megan Rapinoe. I was kind of torn about doing this video because, well, for a couple of reasons. One is that I didn't disagree with everything she had to say on the steps of wherever the hell she was in New York. And two, I am loath to give people a few seconds of their 15 minutes when they're as disagreeable a person as she is. And she is a very disagreeable person. I have no respect for her. I don't care if she's a great soccer player. She's a great female soccer player. This team was beaten 2 years ago by a junior varsity high school boys team. That's how good they are. They're good against other women, but against men, they're nothing like the men in men's soccer. I'm not a soccer fan. I don't watch soccer. And while I realize soccer is a very difficult game to play, it's actually considered the most physically demanding sport, professional sport in the world. And if you watch soccer sometime, I watch it during the Olympics occasionally, and those people work their asses off. They never stop moving. It's a big field. They don't have any pads. They run into each other all the time. It looks pretty tough. You don't get to go take yourself out of the game and rest like you do in football or basketball. You play, and if you can't play anymore, you have to take yourself off the field. You're just done. But anyway, I watched her speech, and first of all, I am not offended by foul language. I know a lot of people are, but nonetheless, there's a time and a place for it. And the press conference in front of the nation is not the place for that. And in her speech, she said a lot of things that I do agree with as a conservative. She talked about coming together across the aisle and moving forward and getting past the divisiveness of the country. And in the very next statement, she spoke about divisiveness. She began dividing people by gender and race and sexual orientation. It was like everything she said that I agreed with, she followed up with something I disagreed with. So I'm not sure that she even knows where she stands on a lot of things or why she stands there. Sometimes she sounded like a conservative, others she sounded like a full-on progressive. Instead of saying that they were a badass team because they were a bunch of great soccer players and they played all their positions well and went above and beyond, she said they were a badass team because they had gays and straights and blacks and whites and blah, 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 the usual pandering to everybody, turning it into a political statement rather than a statement of victory. She seems to be a good leader. The team follow her. She's, other than being a gutter mouth, she's well spoken. I don't care about her sexual orientation. I don't care about her political opinions. If you're going to go out there and boast about something in which you've been victorious, you should go out there and boast about that victory and not your opinions on what's going on in the world. She's turned into the Colin Kaepernick of soccer. It's a shame because I'm sure there are a lot of conservatives out there now who won't even want their daughters to get involved with soccer because they believe this is what it's turning into. And Megan Rapinoe is going to be responsible, I believe, for a downturn in women's soccer. And I don't know, I might be wrong. I hope I am. I don't have anything against soccer. I don't watch it, as I said. I don't know anything about it. I tried to follow it a little bit. I had a son-in-law who was from Denmark, and he was way into it. And he explained some of it to me, but I don't know. I don't think soccer's ever going to catch on in America. Not like the stick and ball sports we already have. Americans tend to like American things. They don't like hand-me-down sports from other countries. And I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. But there are little girls out there that may want to play soccer and look at that and think, that's not what I want. I don't want to get involved in something, because if the most famous female soccer player in the world right now is up there complaining about the game and it's political issues and equal pay and all that, why get involved? Just go play volleyball, or if you want to get involved in a sport where women at least seem to be more grateful, get involved in women's basketball or something. I'm not going to get into the whole equal pay thing. That's been beaten to death. But as a matter of fact, this whole Megan Rapinoe thing has been beaten to death, which is another reason I was kind of apprehensive about even doing this video. But I don't know. I just wish people in sports, professional sports, would play the game and be done with it. Go out there and talk about what a great team they had and what a great time they had and how happy they are that they won and how grateful they are that they're being paid at all. There are a lot of people in the United States who are probably good soccer players, good baseball, football players, who would go play these professional sports for one whole hell of a lot less money and be grateful for it. Anyone who's a professional athlete's making any money at all being a professional athlete should be grateful for it, because that's a big deal. That's a really big deal. And I don't know how much Megan Rapinoe makes. I don't know how much any of the women on the American soccer team make. It doesn't matter. They're making something. They're being paid to do it, and they're being paid to do something that they love to do. They should just be grateful and stop bitching and complaining. Although I can't say anything, I haven't really heard any of the other players engage in this. Rapinoe seems to think she speaks for the whole team. Maybe she does, maybe she doesn't. I don't know, I don't care. I know that she probably doesn't speak for the gal that came and grabbed the flag from her when she was dancing around and dipping the flag on the ground. She probably doesn't speak for that gal, but that gal is doing the right thing. She went and grabbed the flag, and she didn't make an issue of it, and she didn't piss and moan about anything. So, I don't know. Megan Rapinoe, just be quiet already, okay? Your 15 minutes is almost up, and you're the new poster child for the left right now. In a couple of months, none of this is going to be remembered. You're just going to be somebody else that they used to further their agenda, and you played right into their hands. And unless you run for Congress or something, or become a movie star, which, sorry, but that's probably not going to happen. Of course, the movie star thing, you could definitely run for Congress or as a representative and probably do well. But unless you do that, next year at this time, no one's going to remember anything about you. You're just going to be somebody, unless you guys win again and you come out and say the same shit. No one's going to remember you. You're just going to be another poster child of the left whose poster has been thrown in the trash bin of history. So anyway, there's my take on that. If you agree or don't, please argue with me in the comments. Keep it civil. And we'll see y'all later.